Hello my mathematics lovers. Today we are going to talk about addition of fractions with unlike denominators. I'm sure you enjoyed the video on addition of fractions with like denominators. Now there are three methods of carrying out addition of fractions with unlike denominators. And out of those three methods, I will make video for method A, which is using common multiples of the denominators, and method C, which is cross multiplying. That one is actually very easy. Method C is very easy, but let's start with method A because the things that you're going to learn in method A, they are going to be very useful in other aspects of arithmetic and mathematics. So here I've outlined 4 simple steps on how to carry out addition of fractions with unlike denominators. And the first step is to find the LCM. The second step is to make the LCM the new denominators. You will see it as I demonstrate it. The third step is to equalize old and new fractions. That is the aspect that is a little bit technical. Yes, just a little bit, but watch as I'm going to do it and then you will know that it's very easy. And then the fourth step is to add the new fractions. I'm sure we still remember how to add fractions that have like denominators, because by the time you equalize the old and the new fractions, you will now have fractions that have like denominators, and they are very easy to add when they now have like denominators. So without wasting further time, let's go straight into the first example that is we're going to use to demonstrate those 4 simple steps in adding fractions that have unlike denominators. The first step, we were told to find the LCM of the denominators. Now this is the question that we are working on. 3 over 4 plus 1 over 3. I'm sure you still remember, these are the denominators, the numbers at the bottom of that division line. These are the numerators, the numbers on top, while these are the denominators. And in these two fractions, the denominators are 4 and 3. You would have noticed that the denominators are not the same. So we cannot go straight to add them by just adding the numerators like we did in the first video. So how do we do that? We were told in the first step to find the LCM, and I've actually done that here. So how do we find the LCM? You bring each of the denominators. The first denominator here is 4. And then you find the multiples of 4. How do you find the multiples? Very easy. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 3, 12. 4 times 4, 16. So take probably the first 4 or the first 5 multiples. 4 times 1, 4, 8, 12, and 16. And you take the second denominator, in this case 3. What are the multiples of 3? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4, 12. And 3 times 5, 15. Now compare of the multiples of the two, the multiples of 4 and multiples of 3. Is there a common multiple? Yes, there is a common multiple. As you can see, here we have 12 and here we have 12. So 12 is their lowest common multiple. 12 is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 3. So that is why we highlighted this 12 in red. So you are going to take that 12. Now the second step says we should make that LCM the new denominators of the two fractions that we had. So watch as we are going to do that. So here we have made this LCM the new denominator of both this fraction and this fraction. Having done that, the third step says we should equalize the old and the new fractions. This is the aspect that is a little bit technical, but there's nothing to worry about. Now we want to make this fraction equal to this new fraction. I want to make this fraction equal to this new fraction. How do we do that? It's very, very easy. Now take a look at this new denominator and the old denominator. What can we do to 4 to make it 12? Yeah, you can divide 12 by 4 and then you get 3. But look at a much simpler way. Here you have the multiples of 4. And the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, and 16. So how did we get 12 here? We say 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 3, 12. So we multiplied 4 by 3 to make it 12. Did you get that? Yes. And the third step is telling us that we should equalize the old and the new fractions. Now, one rule in mathematics is this. Whatever you do to one side of an equation, you do it to the other side of the equation. Whatever you do to the numerator, you also do it to the denominator. That is the meaning of equalization. So, since we multiply the denominator by 3 to get 12, we will also multiply the numerator by 3. The same thing for 3. What did we do to 3 to get 12? Of course, we multiply 3 by 4. Look at it. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. And 3 times 4, 12. So we multiplied 3 by 4 to get 12, which is the new denominator. And since we multiply the denominator by 4, we also have to multiply the numerator by 4. Having done that, we'll now go ahead to get our new numerators. Now the new numerators, 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 4 is 4. So these are the new fractions that we want to add. And did you notice that these new fractions, they have the same denominator? Yeah. And once fractions have the same denominator, then they are very easy to add or subtract. So remember our rules of adding fractions with the same denominator from the previous video. What do? We want to add these two fractions. Since they have the same denominator, we simply draw a line and put the common denominator, and then we now carry these numerators and put them and add them together. So 9 plus 4 is 13, and we put the common denominator, which is 12. And that's the answer. 3 over 4 plus 1 over 3 gives us 13 over 12. What do you see about this answer? This is an improper fraction because the numerator is higher or is bigger than the denominator. Again, we cannot reduce this fraction to lower terms, just like we did in the previous fraction. So we can just leave it like this because this is our answer. But if you want to go further, you can turn it to a mixed fraction. We will not do that in this video so that the kids can follow. But this is just how to go about adding fractions with unlike denominators. So let's take example 2 to drive this lesson home. Remember the steps again. We want to add 5 over 6 plus 2 over 3. These are two fractions. They do not have the same denominator, so you cannot just go ahead and add them like that. And what do? The first step says find the LCM. How do we find the LCM? We've already done that here. Take the first denominator and find the multiples, starting from the first multiple, which is 6. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2, 12. So these are the multiples: 6, 12, 18, 24. And then the second denominator is here. You get the multiples of that denominator. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 3, 9, 3 times 4, 12, 3 times 5, 15, on and on like that. And look at the multiples. Is there a common multiple? Aha, yeah, we can see 6 here is a common multiple. So the common multiple of 6 and 3 is 6, and it is the lowest common multiple. That's why we call it the LCM. So having got the common multiple, we'll now go ahead to get our new fractions. So this is going to be something over the common multiple, which is 6, plus something over the common multiple again, which is 6. So what will the numerators be like? Remember what we did the first time? What did we do to 6 to get 6? Nothing. If you multiply 6 by 1, you get 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. So we just multiplied here by 1. So 6 times 1 is 6. Or essentially we did nothing to it. And since anything you do to the denominator, you also do it to the numerator. So here is going to also be 5 times 1. So for the second one, the second denominator, what did we do to 3 to get 6? Of course, we multiplied by 2 to get 6. Look at it. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6. So we multiplied 3 by 2 to get 6. And since we are multiplying the denominator by 2, we also multiply the numerator by 2. So we are set to get our new numerators, or we're set to equalize the new fractions. 5 times 1 it remains 5. 2 times 2 is 4. So these are the new fractions. And since the new fractions have the same denominator, we go ahead and add. And I'm sure you still remember that. It's very easy. So first, we draw a line, and then we bring the common denominator, which is 6, and then we write down the numerators, 5 plus 4, and then we just add them. So 5 plus 4 is 9, and then we bring down the denominator, which is 6. Now this is the answer, but do we leave the answer like this? No. We can break down the answer. Look at 9 and 6. Something can be done. If you leave the answer like this, you are correct. But if you look at these two numbers, know that we can reduce them to a simpler form by dividing both sides, both top and bottom, by 3. So if we divide 9 by 3, we will get 3, and if we divide 6 by 3, we'll get 2. So the new answer is simply 3 over 2. And that's the answer to this question. 5 over 6 plus 2 over 3. I'm sure you saw as we followed through the step, the only technical part is how to equalize the fractions, and it's very easy. Find the LCM, get 2 new fractions, and those 2 new fractions make that LCM, the denominators of the 2 new fractions. Then find out what you did to the first denominator to get the new denominator. Do the same thing to the numerator. find out what you did to the second denominator to get that LCM, and do the same thing to the numerator. And with that, you are good to go. Rest is as easy as ABC. Did you find this interesting? I promised you that in our tutorials we are going to make learning fun. I mean fun for kids. Not just fun, but we are learning in a way that is meant to stimulate the critical reasoning of our children, so that as they apply this, they may find higher mathematics or other stuff easier to comprehend logically and to follow. Now, for the parents and the older ones among us, I don't want you to think that these things are just for kids. Oh, what do I have to do? These are just for kids. No. The methods we are using may not be exactly the same method that I used to teach these kids in school. I do a lot of research to come up with this. So they may appear very easy, but these methods are time-tested methods that are meant to help your children develop that logical, critical reasoning that they will use to excel as they move higher. So please play these videos over and over to your children. Please like and comment on this video. Please share this video. Please follow my page. I promise to bring you more quality content as we go along. Bye for now.